And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to episode 72 of Coaster Time. I am your host, Carrick Gilgan, and today we are also joined by a new special guest from the Sunshine State who has recently hit 9,000 subscribers, so congratulations there. And this is none other than Coaster Josh. Josh, it's great to have you here today. How are you doing?
Oh, I am doing great. It is fantastic to be here. I've always wanted to do one of these, so super excited.
For sure. And I mean, I know you've been watching a while, so it's an absolute privilege to have you on. It's actually I didn't write this down here in the notes, but I believe you are our 40th Coaster Time guest, which crazy that we've gotten to that number. So that is pretty special there. And I believe the third Josh to be on Coaster Time as well. So
Third Josh and Coaster Time. That's
there,
amazing.
there you go. So we do have that. As those of you are coming into the stream, if you could let us know if the audio is good, that would be great. And with that being said, we'll roll into our first segment. Sometimes notifications as well can be a little slow. Just YouTube sometimes is a little goofy like that, but usually that'll pick up in like first few minutes. But we'll go into our blind ranking North American Park Challenge. So just to put up the graphic here, some explanation as to how this segment works. Basically, the two of us are going to be competing to blind rank 10 North American parks. That is out of like basically a random wheel that consists of 100 parks around North America. We'll alternate between picks, have time to explain our thinking, and do a little bit of research if need be. And then you as a chat can get involved and give suggestions, information that we may not know of. And at the end, you will, of course, vote on who you think has the better ranking. I see Michael in the chat. Hello.
Hello.
So that'll get us started here. So as I say that, I am going to bring up the wheel. I will go first here just as the host, just to kind of show how this works. Actually, however, before we do that, if you could give me a random number between 1 and 10, Josh, that would be great.
We'll do 7.
Alrighty, so I'll shuffle this 7 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, there we go. And we'll get in our first spin, see our first park that we're getting here. Also see Ruby in the chat, hello. And the first park I get is one of my favorites, Hershey Park, out in Hershey, Pennsylvania, even though I have not been since 2017. This is a bit of a
Wow.
scary park to get this early because it is certainly justifiable to have at number 1. However, I've been kind of burned in the past in terms of putting a park at number 1 a little too early, and then I end up with like an Islands of Adventure or like a Cedar Point or something like that. So I'm going to put Hershey Park here at 2. Love the coaster lineup. Also, they have some very good suites as well. I mean, you'd expect so from a place called Hershey Park. And at the time I went years ago, operations were pretty solid. I know that's been a little mixed in more recent years, but very much enjoyed my time at the park. Very charming as well. So, yeah, Hershey Park's
Yeah.
going to be at the 2.
Hershey Park is a good one. I am jealous of that. I was just up there a couple weeks ago. Such a great park.
Yeah, and I mean, you
Okay.
got to ride the new coasters that I've been missing. So, that's pretty neat.
Wildcats Revenge, even having Gwazi in my backyard, Wildcats Revenge is insane. Operations have been pretty rough. I will echo to what they said in the
Hmm.
chat. But great park overall. And they have a really bright future. They just keep getting stuff. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I have a feeling I think 2027 might be a year to keep an eye on for Hershey Park, but we'll of course wait and see if that ends up coming to fruition. Here's going to be your first spin, so this will determine the first park you
Hey.
get. And it is... Oh, there's no way. Is it actually going
Yes,
to be...
please.
Wow!
That is great. Busch Gardens Tampa. Like I have so many like coaster souvenirs behind me. There's that little giant poster. It says Busch Gardens Tampa. Realistically, where I think this is going to go, I'm gonna put this. If I'm thinking of all the parks in the United States, I'm gonna put it at 3. Spot number 3.
All
It's
right.
not my personal favorite SeaWorld park even. I like Busch Gardens Williamsburg a bit better, but the lineup itself is very solid. Now it might come back to bite me because the 1 and 2 better be good then.
for sure. Crazy that we get your home park here basically as your first one. That is actually insane luck. I have not been to Busch Gardens Tampa, but hoping to this fall, hopefully. So
Great.
that would be for the first time. I've been to all the other Orlando area parks outside of Epic Universe that just opened this year, which
Wow.
hopefully is also in the plans for this fall. But and the next park I get is another one I've been to. This is Beach Bend, so this is out in uh, Bowling Green, Kentucky. This is a lot more of a smaller park. They're most well known for Kentucky Rumbler, or GCI, which I got great rides on back in 2023 post retrack, and they put some Titan track on it. Rode very well. I didn't really do the park's water park, and only did a few of their other rides. They do have a Larson Drop Tower. That's fun. They have a kind of cheesy but fun dark ride as well. But it's not going to rank super highly just because of the size of the park. I will still, I still do enjoy it, so I will put it at 8. That might be a little high, honestly. I was
Wow.
like between 8 and 9, but it just kind of depends on what we get. But I enjoyed my time here when I was over at Beach Bend. So yeah, it'll go at number 8. Alrighty, here's your next
Okay.
spin.
Let's see what I got. Let's see what this is. Please,
Oh, we
please,
got one of
please.
my
Ah.
favorites.
Ooh. Ooh, Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. I have not been there, so I do know what they have though. Um, I'm gonna put that at, you know what? I'll go 10. I'll go 10. I'll stick it right at
Oof.
10.
All right.
I was gonna say 9, but I feel like it's solid. Like I'd love to go there, but I think hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me towards the end.
Yeah, people of the channel will know, but I have a soft spot for this park up in NorCal. Giant Dipper, I think, is a phenomenal wooden coaster. And the park's also just very charming and classic. Has also one of those rare carousels where you get to throw the rings. Uh,
Awesome.
so that's really cool. Actually, for me personally, it's actually my favorite of the NorCal parks that I've been to,
Wow.
which is kind of saying something. I just love the atmosphere of it. Even if like the coaster lineup obviously does not stack up to the other parks, but totally fair, I think, just if you look at it from a ride lineup to put it lower. Also see
No,
Xavier
I get it.
enrolling in the chat. Hello. Um, oh well, and
Oh
speaking of
no.
calling it into
Oh man.
existence, we got Cedar Point. This also could come back to bite me if I put it at 1, just depending on what I get. However, I do think that Cedar Point is a park that you can justify over anything else simply because they do have the best coaster lineup on the planet. Um, Personally, for me, I actually don't have it in my top 5 parks I've been to, but it's still very excellent just because of that coaster lineup. And then also the setting with the lake is truly incredible as
It's
well. So, and the operations were pretty solid when I was there when I went in 2019. Again, another park where it's kind of been a little more mixed in recent years, but at least in my experience, thought it was good there as well.
such a great park. I mean, I think for me, I have it in top 5. So great. I'm very jealous that you spun that, right? As mine came so close to getting it. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was just a Cedar Point. It's awesome. Okay, let's see what I get though. Let's see.
Alrighty.
I'm hoping for like Silver Dollar City or Dollywood.
And
Oh no. No. Oh no. Okay, this is going at 9. They do have the two coasters that they have do look pretty interesting. They have the wooden one and then I think Merlin's Mayhem is what it's called or something like that, the little suspended
mm-hmm.
one. But not super high on the bucket list. But considering that I have done most of the Pennsylvania coasters, I believe it's in Pennsylvania, I have not
Yeah.
been there yet. So who knows? Maybe I could see this in my future. But my list not is not off to a great start.
I mean, to be fair, if you're filling out like sort of the bottom parts, it's not a bad place to be. In fact, like I've gotten myself in trouble in some of these because I get like too many like good parks. Um, and it kind of
Mm.
messes with the lineup a bit. So it's not a bad situation to be in. But yeah, this is actually pretty close to Hershey Park. I think it's about like within 30-minute drive. So
Wow,
um,
yeah.
with the original CCI there, so that's pretty cool. But um, anyways, we'll go on to the next spin here. Xavier just posted a Cedar Point video today. Shout out there. Make sure to check that out.
Nice. Hope you had fun.
Um, oh, and this one.
Ooh.
So this is interesting. I know as of right now, if we were going off of like right now, it would definitely be 10 simply because Rampage isn't operating. I'm generally having the assumption that it would be because that's the main reason to visit this park.
Yeah.
Excellent looking wooden coaster. Has a sizable water park as well, and it has a Wild Mouse coaster. But as far as amusement rides, very small collection. Uh, this could be where I could put this at 10 just because of kind of the uncertainty of Rampage right now. Just with it being like they've been saying they were going to have it open this year, and I think potentially even last year as well, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So I think I am actually going to put this at 10 just because of where it's at right now, unfortunately. So yeah, that is unfortunate there.
Very
Here's your
solid
next
spot for
spin.
that park. Let's see what we got.
Wow, all right.
Ooh,
So
wow. I'm getting a lot of the smaller ones.
the
Okay.
new Hershen
Storyland.
parks.
The new, yeah, I'm getting all the new Nursham parks. This is going to 8. We'll just fill up the bottom. I honestly don't have that much to say. I would love to go. I have a thing for smaller parks. Any park that has some type of charm, I really like. That's why Silver Dollar City is probably my favorite park out there. But a lot of these smaller parks really seem to have great atmosphere. So I would definitely love to go out there and make a trip to it. But
Yeah,
eight is the spot.
for sure. No, and that's understandable. Rorosaurus, I've heard incredible things about. Apparently, that's like the
Mm,
uh, a decent amount of people say that's the best of like the kind of more junior or family oriented gravity group wooden coasters. Apparently, this is the best one. Some say even by far. So that obviously is something
wow.
that's great. That's going for it, and it does have that charming like story theming as well going for it. But you know, it's not something that's going to rank super high on a list like this. Um, alrighty, so this next one is SeaWorld San Antonio. So I have not been here. I don't know if you have, but you might be
I
able to
have.
speak on this. Oh boy, this is an
Yeah.
interesting spot.
Oh, I lo- I love
um,
I love that park.
you
But
do.
it's yes, but probably for the wrong reason. Simply because it doesn't really get crowded. It's
Mm,
kind of dead. If you go in, you're like, where are all the people? And I went on a Saturday in the summer, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Operations aren't amazing. The rides themselves are pretty fun, and considering that when I went, it was a 5-minute wait for everything, and my friends who went on a different day, same thing. One of my favorite parts, just based on experience, but just by lineup, it's probably in the middle to lower.
yeah, the
What you
thing with
got?
this park, even though I have not been, it seems like there's just kind of a lot of like empty space from
There
what I've
is.
seen. And then on top of that, as far as the SeaWorld, like the main SeaWorld parks, although you could apply Busch Gardens here as well, it just seems like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I mean, SeaWorld San Diego and Orlando, I would describe as being like, in general, like very well landscaped parks, like very beautiful
Yeah,
parks. I hear San Antonio is not quite to the standard of those.
it's
And
not.
then the animal exhibits, I don't think are also, from my understanding, quite
Mm,
to the either both the quality and then also just the amount that the other
yeah.
parks have. So, but Texas Stingray and Steel Eel does look like a great top two. Great White looks like. I mean, I love
Fantastic.
Batman clones, so obviously good to have that. Wavebreaker also in there as well, getting a new suspended family
Yeah,
coaster there too. So, you know, they have some stuff going for them. I'm gonna put this at 5 though. Very much kind of seems like middle of the road. So,
it is.
um, we'll put it there.
That's a very, very solid ranking for that. Yeah, it feels like if Six Flags were to make a SeaWorld park, if that makes sense. Just the difference. Let's see what we got. Come on, Carowinds. Yes! There we go. Carowinds. Okay, this was a park I was just at a couple weeks ago. It has a fantastic top two. Probably one of my favorite top twos out of any park that's not like Cedar Point. Um, Copperhead has some of the best hang time I've ever experienced on those loops. It's just such a re-rideable coaster. There are very few coasters that I can just re-ride over and over and over again, but both Fury and Copperhead are those for me. Would I put it above Busch Gardens Tampa? Probably not. So I'm gonna put it at spot number 4.
I think I would have done the exact same thing in your shoes, so very respectable ranking there. I've not been to Carowinds, but obviously very high on the bucket list. Just kind of unfortunate in that it is a pretty decent drive from like any other major park, but at least it is close to a major airport, so that's kind of nice. And actually, this next one is a park that I literally just put in
Ooh.
because rest in peace ZDTs, which was previously on here. So this basically fills its spot. We got Niagara Amusement Park. I know the official name is I think like and Splash World, but just for it not to be too long. So this is in the Gene Staples chain. They have Silver Comet, that their CCI wooden coaster, along with a few other rides. But I'm gonna put this at 9. I have not heard great things about this park in general, so I'll just kind of leave it there. And I'm not super well researched on this one because I just put it in, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Let's see what I get. This
Connexpert actually has Niagara as their home park, so shout out
Wow,
there.
that is awesome.
Another Florida park.
Legoland, Florida. This is one of the only Florida parks I have never been to. I have never been
Oh
here.
wow, that's crazy.
So hopefully trying to make it out there soon. But I love Lego. I literally could reach over in my room and just grab a Lego figure. It's like that's how much I love Lego all over. Um, I actually am quite happy with this. I would put it at spot number 7, just because it does look to be very well presented, and the theming of Lego carries throughout the entire park. The Flying Theater, one could argue it has the best Flying Theater out of SeaWorld Orlando and them. A lot of people say that that Flying Theater is better. I probably would agree, even having not ridden it. But just such a solid looking park. They have a lot of quirky attractions. They have the little boat ride that takes you out into like the little swamp area. They have the dragon coaster. Everyone loves that. And they're improving. They're definitely investing more into the park with their new 2026 space coaster, indoor space coaster. And I am super excited for that. So 7 is a pretty solid spot for it.
No, totally fair. I love Expedition Odyssey, right? I think that's the name of it, Catching Strays. But
Oh man.
uh,
Absolutely, absolutely.
but no, Legoland Florida does look enjoyable. I've only been to California, so obviously different park there, but that's a pretty enjoyable park. So I assume Florida would have some similarities there. Um, so we will make the next spin. Oh dear,
Oh
and this
man.
is exactly kind of the risk of putting certain parks high. Although, I mean,
You're getting the
personally,
good ones.
I would have Kings Island over Hershey Park and actually
Me
over
too.
Cedar Point, but
I can see it.
um,
I think
but
the viewers will like this.
we'll see if if it hurts me. I think still like relatively similar caliber. All three of these parks are absolutely incredible. But with Kings Island, I mean the best in my experience, best operations I've seen at a regional park. Dispatches were super quick from what I saw there. So that is obviously something to be praised. One of the best parks in the world for night rides. Between Beast and Mystic Timbers that I experienced. I've also heard Orion gives a great night ride, though I wasn't able to experience that at night, unfortunately. And they have, I'd say, a pretty strong coaster collection. Beast is one of my all-time favorite coasters at night, specifically. I've said that on the on the streams prior. Mystic Timbers is one of my favorite wooden coasters. Orion is great as well. And then obviously Diamondback and Banshee are also kind of in the mix there as well, with some solid supporting coasters even behind them. So, oh, and the Blue Ice Cream, gotta shout that out. That is fantastic. Do not
Ooh,
miss if you're there. That's like kind of one of the things they're known for. Absolutely love the blue ice cream there. Didn't have great food there, but I can say at least the
Okay.
ice cream. I think it probably my mistake, honestly. But the ice cream there is great, so make sure to check that out. Um, so we'll get your next wheel spin here.
Okay.
And
Stay. Oh, Waldemar. Oh, I'm getting the smaller ones. Awesome. Okay, Waldemar. I kind of like that. Yeah, that's gonna. I can just say right off the bat, that's gonna go at 6. I have plans to go there next year, pretty much right as they open. On a little road trip to just hit some of the other parks I haven't done in the area, but looks pretty charming. I like a lot of the smaller parks. My list right now is it's like a lot of the smaller parks and then like the two amazing ones, but I am happy from spot 6 to 10. I think it's shaping up pretty nice.
yeah, shout out to former guest of the stream, Insane Coaster Junkie. That is their home park in Waldemere, so we'll give a shout out there. Looks very charming. Ravine Flyer 2 looks fantastic as well. I know they've been
Absolutely.
investing a lot in their water park as well as of late, so that's obviously
Yeah.
good to see. Um, and hopefully at some point in the future, would love to see potentially another notable dry edition.
Yeah, a little bit more investment.
And oh, I thought it was Epic
Oh,
Universe, which
but you
actually,
got good ones though. Yeah.
thank goodness it was not, because that actually would have blown up my list realistically.
I need that. I need that. But
So,
Kennywood.
but
Kennywood's great.
Kennywood's actually kind of, I think, perfect. It I could put it at 4 or I could put it at 6, just depending on how I feel about it. I
Maybe
have not
4.
been, unfortunately. I think I'm probably leaning 4 here, though,
Yeah.
with it. I mean, Phantom's Revenge is one of my top bucket list coasters in the States that I have yet to ride. Looks fantastic. The Wooden Coaster Collection, just having those three old Woodies. I love old wooden coasters, so love that. And the park in general just has that vintage
Oh,
feel and a ton of classic rides. So I absolutely love that aspect of it, even though I haven't been. That's something I'm looking forward to. Steel Curtain, when it's operating, I think this year it's been
mhm.
generally pretty solid.
Yes. Yeah.
In doing that, that looks great. Skyrocket looks fun as well. So very deep
Great.
coaster lineup or
Yeah.
maybe not super deep, but like they have a pretty good collection of quality
They have variety.
coasters.
They have variety. Yeah.
Um, so and then several other attractions as well. Like oh man, why the kangaroo ride? Is it
Oh,
literally called just kangaroo? I
it
don't know
might be
why
called
I'm
Kangaroo,
blanking out
but
on
they
it,
have
but
so many so many unique rides. That was a sleeper hit of the summer for me. Even the walkthrough attraction, the Noah's Ark walkthrough, it's
yes.
like incredibly themed. I'm like, wow, am I at Silver Dollar City right now? Like it's that good theming and the best small park charm ever. I mean, it's not super small, but it feels like that just the classic theme park. One of my favorite parks. Like for me, I'd be tempted in my list to put it above 2 just because I love it so much. But absolutely good choice at 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick it at 4. Also because I may have leaned more towards 6 if it was under Palace ownership still, but with Hershend, I think it's only gonna be getting better. I think that's gonna be
Yes.
a great fit for the park. So very much looking forward to what they're able to do in the future, even if it's like just minor like or just like kind of quality of life, I guess, improvements. I think that'll go a long way for that park. So would love to see that.
Okay, let's see what I got. My list is becoming a little narrow. Let's see. Let's see.
Alright, you got
Oh,
Six Flags New England, so that's
oh, this is quite a risk. So honestly, I'm happy putting it at 5, but it leaves me in a very not fun position where spots 1 and 2 are open on my list. I had plans to actually go there this year for the media event for Quantum Accelerator. I was invited out for that. I booked my flight, and then the next day, right after the free refund period, I got an email saying the event is canceled. And after the refundable period ended, so now I just have a fun credit of Southwest that I got to use before the end of the year. Um, so yeah, but honestly, one of the park looks quite good, and I was really excited for Quantum, and I think that's gonna definitely help it out. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I have nothing else to say except, I mean, it looks like like a mid tier of the Six Flags parks, maybe slightly a little higher. So spot five seems perfect for it.
Alrighty.
Oh
I,
no.
I, in your position, I might have just put it at 2 just to be defensive, but I guess you kind of have to look at it from the standpoint like
Yeah.
I feel like that I don't know how much that would help you because I think my list has panned out pretty nicely. I like, but
You're getting a
something could
good
blow
list.
it up. Something could blow it up. So, um, oh
Well, if I get like Epic
boy.
Universe at one, oh, go further.
Uh, oh boy. Okay, Idlewild. Uh, all right. Okay, we'll put it at 7. Very family oriented park.
Yeah.
Probably they're most well known for enthusiasts. They have the Vekoma Wild Mouse with the slanted lift hill and
Oh,
roller
cool.
coaster being the old like kind of junior wooden coaster. And then they used to have the Mr. Rogers attraction that's like now themed to like Daniel the Tiger or something like that that I know is like a big deal there
Yeah.
too. Um, Seems like a like nice family park, um, but pretty expensive also from what I've heard. So a bit of a rough draw, honestly, at 7. But
Yeah.
like it could have certainly been worse. So I'm
You're
not
doing great. This
gonna
is the
complain
moment of
too
truth
much.
right here.
Yeah,
If it's Six Flags America or something like that, come on, Magic Kingdom,
which might be
Epcot,
the last time
Epic,
it shows up on here, by
Dollywood,
the way.
Dollywood, Dollywood. Oh no, no, no. Okay,
That's actually not a
Cruise on
bad
World.
draw. That's not a
Cruise
bad
on
draw,
World.
like at all, honestly. So
Honestly, with Cannibal looks fantastic. Primordial looks fantastic. The park itself looks to have some of that, I guess, mall park charm, if you say. And you could honestly make an argument for it going in the top three. Would I be biased towards Busch Gardens Tampa? Probably, but I'm gonna stick it at two and take a big gamble here. That number one is like gonna be like Epic Universe or some other Florida park. So
I know there's some people out there that absolutely love Lagoon. I have not been. Actually, it's the one that bugs me to death. I have not been because it's basically like in terms of distance to me, like of the major parks I have not been to, it's the closest one. It just because it's in Salt Lake City by itself. You would think being on the West Coast, flying over to Salt Lake City for me would be cheap, but for my specific airport, it isn't. It's cheap if I drive up to San Francisco, but I
yeah,
haven't been able to do that yet. Plus, the park itself is expensive, so it's just
it is.
um, I think it is one I will get to in the next few years. Like I actually have family up
Yeah.
that is attending in college in Salt Lake City, so trying
Wow.
to get that to work out. But yeah, Lagoon definitely does look very good, and honestly, like I said, pretty good draw, all things considered, because you're in such a
Yes, all
tight
things
position.
considered.
All right, so will this blow up my list, or will it be a perfect compliment? Okay. Obviously, this park
Mm,
does not have the best reputation, but compared to the parks behind it, this is actually, I think, relatively sensible. Just, of course, if you have a terrible day here, like some people have, like it is 10 worthy, legitimately.
yeah.
Um, However, like it has a much more substantial ride collection than the parks below it, so you do have that
Hmm.
going for it. Um, I mean, if somehow you're able to have a solid time here, like this is probably where it'd rank
Yeah.
if you had a good day here.
Just on collection
Which,
alone, yeah, absolutely.
but and I will shout out. I think I've heard like some people have gone when they do their fireworks. Apparently, that's like really they have like really good like fireworks show over the summer when they have that. So we'll give a shout out there. Um, but and like I said, solid coaster collection. Goliath looks like a nice B&M hyper. Vampire I've heard is one of the better uh, Batman clones from what I've heard. I guess after that, the floor really just falls out because there's not much. I mean, there's a decent amount of
Yeah.
coasters, but not much good. So there's at least a decent quantity there, not so much quality. But we'll see what your number one is.
Okay.
Are you ready?
This is it. What is gonna be the best park? Let's see.
The moment of truth.
The moment of truth. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Wait. No, come on, not. Go a little further. The gamble did not pay off. This is bottom worthy. Oh my god, just because of some of the stuff I've heard about operations, this is actually hilarious. I'm glad it went like this. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang. I'm telling you,
That's probably the worst number one part
this is
we've
horrible.
gotten.
It's so
Shout out to
bad.
coasters and things. Believe I don't know if currently, but I know there's a park that is near him, so we'll give a shout
Yeah,
out there. Uh, Funny story of this
horrible.
park, for on my end. Um, I actually went with family to Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is actually pretty close to this park, and we were going back to Atlanta, so very easily could have hit this park up if I knew where it was located. I had no idea that it was actually as close as it was. Like that it was like actually like right around that area until we were on like driving out and on the freeway there was like some signs and I'm like, oh shoot, well that's not gonna work though. Because just the timing and everything, it just wasn't gonna work
Yeah,
out. So I was like, man, I'm like, and that might be my best opportunity to visit it, to be honest. So I was
I think
like,
I've
oh,
passed
that's
it a couple
tough.
That's
So,
that's
um,
a rough one. I forgot that place existed, and when I saw it coming towards me on the wheel, I would have rather had Fun Spot Atlanta on there or anything. At least they have Airy Force. Like this is the worst, but
hey,
it's hilarious.
they
I'm
got
yeah.
they got Cannonball, like old wooden coaster, and they have that
I have heard.
one weird boat ride that like is like the one of its kind. So that's kind of cool, I guess. And
Yeah,
it is like a
I
vintage park, but I have nothing else to
yeah,
say.
but I've heard I've heard not some not great things. Like I've heard stories of them, charging for water even. Like
Oh
so
yikes, that's not great.
yeah. So possibly the worst number one possible, but that's okay. That is solid. That's hilarious.
So, just for reference, I will bring it up. In these, even though I'm the host, you would think, oh, I'd have like a good record here. I'm actually 2-4 all time when it comes to these.
Oh
So we'll
wow.
see if I
If
end
you're
up
gonna add
being,
one today,
yeah, yeah, probably.
I
So
think
I will
so.
put the poll in the chat. Most accurate blind ranking. And then, of course, we'll determine the winner there. I think, yeah, we both know
I
what's
wonder,
coming.
I wonder what's coming. I wonder what's coming. No, you got solid ones. Having Cedar Point, Hershey Park, and Kings Island all in the same top 10 is awesome. I would take probably all three of those over everything I have.
I mean, it's more so the order that matters here, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I mean, the order, as I actually, all things considered, I think is pretty good. Kings Island, yeah, personally for me, I would have it a little higher, but I think the other ones, like honestly, like if you like somehow like my future self went to all these parks, you showed me this list, like from 4 to 10, um, and that was going to be my ranking, I would be able to buy it honestly. So I think
Yeah.
it's actually pretty realistic.
Same thing with mine. I mean, from 3 to 10 up, I would say is pretty good. Obviously, I would switch Santa Cruz Boardwalk with. They would definitely go higher up. Probably either under or over Legoland. I don't know about Waldemer though. But number one is this egregiously horrible option. But I think all things considered, I had to take the gamble. I had to do it because when I saw Epic Universe on that list and Dollywood and Silver Dollar City and all those parks, I thought in my mind there was a decent chance I would get something I could at least make an argument for, but not this one.
Yeah, that was a tough draw. I'm trying to think of like actually I do have the previous results here actually. I forgot that, yeah, I actually have it on here now. Um so yeah, I'm sorry. This is the worst number one because prior I think the worst one was Maurice Piers, which isn't even
Ooh.
which I mean I feel like that's a park I'd like, but although it's a weird
Mhm.
situation just without setup. But
JB had Epic Universe.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and JV beat me. In fact, I was on a three. I forgot. I was also on like a uh three. Uh, it's not. I guess 3 game losing streak is what we can call it. So, Um, but anyways, I'm looking at the poll. It shows that here there's uh, potentially somehow you are getting votes. I will let you know.
I did not vote. I did not. I would not. I would vote for you.
It's
That's
at six.
hilarious.
It's at 62 to 38. I'm trying to do the math based on the viewers I can see on here if there'd be enough to overturn, but I don't think so. So I think I've pretty much just won here. So I think we'll just call it there. I will
I think
also
so
post
too.
this on Instagram, so
Oh
we'll
no,
we'll we'll see if it's different. Although I don't think so.
I don't
Um,
think so.
I think this one's gonna be pretty definitive. Hold on, we did get another vote. Did you just vote?
No, I did not. I have not touched it.
Hold on,
Although now
hold
you're
on,
making me want
hold on,
to.
hold on. I
The
mean, don't
the
do it.
Coaster Josh fans are real. I will say that.
They are coming in because someone just voted, and now it's 56 to 44. So if there's another
This is
vote that
not
comes in
real.
here,
I have not touched
it
it.
would tie it. It
This is
would
one of the
tie it.
funniest things.
Hold on. I'll give it another minute. Right now it's like at 36. Why do you have Lake winning at one? That's just how it went. He left number one at open and Lake Winnie was
I know that's the number one rule. This is to not do that, but I was in a tight space. I should have put Busch Gardens at one, but no, I was hoping for
okay.
something better. I was hoping for a Universal or
Okay, it's
Epic.
definitive now. Another vote just came in and I just got another one, so that's gonna wrap it up. I have 60% here, so I will be the winner of this blind ranking. First win in the last four attempts. Pretty crazy.
Good job.
Um, but yeah, there we go. And now officially 3 and 4 across the
There
Park
we
Blank
go.
blind ranking. So we are back officially. But we'll move on to our next segment, which is going to be the Florida roller coaster draft. So
Ooh.
pretty much how this is also going to be a competition between me and Josh. And so you can look at the rules here. It'll work in like a snake format, like if you've done a fantasy football or just fantasy sports draft, those work in a very similar way, which actually makes the determining of the order much like important. We'll actually do a coin flip. I'll have you uh, basically determine if you want heads or tails. We'll go off that, and then whoever wins that will be able to pick which pick they get, whether it's one or two. So there is that there. 16 coasters for each of our lineups. Once a coaster is taken, the other person can't pick it. Clones of picked coasters are fine, although I don't know that that's applicable here, but we'll mention anyways. And then if a coaster is themed or has a unique setting, it will retain it. Dueling coasters such as Stardust Racers or Space Mountain count as a single slot, so they're not like separate. And the winner will be decided by you, the viewers, via the stream poll. I can actually also post this on Instagram as well, so we can do it that way there. So going into this, I will, I guess, pull up the coin flip. So once I get it here.
Okay.
All right. Heads or tails?
I'm gonna say heads.
All right. The call is heads.
Come on.
And it's tails.
No.
Okay, so I get to pick whether I'm going to go at spot 1 or 2. Man, it's a tough pick. It is a tough
This is
pick. I'm going to take 2. So I will have like the back-to-back pick. So you will get the first pick, which means that I will just flip this around here. And
Okay.
we will be good to go. So this is going to be the Florida Coaster Draft. You have the first pick, so pick your coaster.
So my first coaster I would put on this list would be Stardust Racers. one of my favorite coasters of all time. Easily one of the most re-rideable coasters in Florida, simply because, the two tracks, I think they provide slightly different experiences. At the night rides are fantastic. Riding in the front of the train is different than riding in the back of the train. The most re-rideable ride of all time, I think, in Florida. Um, I think it's fantastic. I've ridden this so many times. I love me some of the green side. The green is fantastic. Both are great. And just being at Epic Universe, it's such great views that it provides. So easily Stardust Racers at number one.
All right, fair. Um, I was actually that actually kind of works for me strategy wise. There was one coaster that I was uh, if that is a I will admit that is a different coaster than what I would have went with if I had the first pick, and so I was kind of hoping that you might go differently, which did happen here. So I have back-to-back picks here because of the snake
I think I know
order.
where you're gonna go.
So we're gonna do Iron Gwazi. That would have been my first pick. Um, and then my next one, gonna be no surprise, is gonna be Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure. So that is gonna be my first two picks. Um, Iron Gwazi I've yet to ride, but I mean, looks like one of the absolute best coasters in the world. The pacing on it looks insane, and the airtime looks like some of the strongest of any RMC out there. Plus, it has a decent bit of off-axis airtime moments, which I in particular really love. And Velocicoaster, best blend of theming and quality coaster layout of any coaster I have ridden, and
Absolutely.
potentially out there in general. So you can make an argument for it. So easy two picks for me. But you have the next two picks. So what are your
Okay. So
choices?
my next choice might be a little bit of a controversial one in all honesty, but this is one of my favorite coasters of all time. And this is gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic
I
Rewind
would
at
pick
Epcot.
that. I would have picked that next.
Such
So
a great ride. I get made fun of all the time because I have this at my number six favorite coaster of all time. I've ridden almost 200 coasters, and I have this at spot number six. Simply the same reason, because of Stardust. So re-rideable. Not knowing what song you're gonna get before you launch backwards is insane. And I think there's some people watching right now that know how much that I love this ride. The next ride that I would choose would be Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. My personal favorite hypercoaster. I personally have a soft spot for Mako just because of the way it's presented. I think Nitro and Candemonium are great too, but when you add the fact that Mako is over the water, it brings it up another level for me. Some of the greatest airtime on any hypercoaster.
yeah, no, those are definitely two excellent picks. I mean, those are if I were in your position, those are literally the two I would have picked. If it makes you feel better, Cosmic Rewind is my number 10 coaster of a little over 200 I've ridden. So I agree with you there in terms of the rewritability, the different songs. And I mean, I love Space Mountain at Disneyland, and I also like the Magic Kingdom one, but the Disneyland version is my preferred version. And I kind of just see that a big reason for that is the onboard audio. But Cosmic Rewind kind of has a little bit of like same energy, but of course a much longer, more interesting ride layout, and then the variety of music,
Absolutely.
obviously, along with the rotations, obviously adds a new layer to the whole experience. So, and then Mako is in my top 20 as well. So, two great picks there. That puts me in a bit of an interesting spot looking at this because, um, yeah, uh,
Tough.
yeah, there. I'm trying to think if, man, this is actually a scary position to be in because I feel like I kind of win. This is actually potentially where I win or lose.
Hmm.
uh, but and man,
It's tough.
I think I just actually, you know what? I do have the strategy. All right, we're gonna do Montu Busch Gardens Tampa is gonna be my
No.
next one. Um, And then I am going to take, even though I am lower on it than other people, I just
Oh
think
no.
that this is a because of how unique this ride is compared to the other options. I have to pick Hagrid's, which oh god, is it even gonna fit?
Those would have been my next two. So
Um,
fantastic choice.
I think we have similar thinking with these, so
Absolutely. We went right out of the gate to do those are literally the next two. I wrote them down on a piece of paper because I didn't want to forget them, and you said them both. However, we also have some other great family coasters as well, and I would go so bold as choosing a family coaster. I would say Hiccup Swing Gliders is a very, very good coaster. It is not I would say you could make an argument that it's better than Hagrid's. Some of my friends definitely like it better just because of the atmosphere that it's in the Isle of Berk. It is fantastic, and if you like, How to Train Your Dragon more than Harry Potter, I can totally see it. I can absolutely see it. So, it is great, and then do I get one more? I believe I get another one?
yes, you do get
Alright,
yes, yeah, you do.
I get my next one. This next one, this actually probably will surprise some people, but I'm going to say I'm gonna choose Manta at SeaWorld Orlando.
Okay.
Um,
No, I totally respect that.
it's such a fantastic ride, simply because the way it's presented. Again, I'm all about presentation, as you can hear just from talking to me. That turn above the water where you get a little bit wet is great. It is such a good ride. The pretzel loop is very unique to Florida. I mean, in Florida, compared to all the other stuff that we have, that is one of the most intense moments. So, such a great coaster, and it just is the definition of SeaWorld. When you think of SeaWorld, you think of that ride.
Yeah, no, that completely, definitely. I mean, this is even before I was an enthusiast, I remember seeing coverage of this, like just in media in general, of Mantis specifically, and how just kind of a scenic and beautiful ride it is. It's like very iconic for the park, so I definitely agree with that there. Hiccups, Wing Gliders. I'll admit that one surprises me a little bit, but I have definitely heard some of the praise that you
It's
mentioned from
good.
some people. So can definitely understand it from that standpoint. As for my next picks, I'm actually pretty happy that it. I understand why these are here because there's kind of two that are similar to each other. But I mean, Incredible Hulk is a coaster that I love, so I'm going to take that here. Um, I
You
was
can have it.
very impressed with it during my 2023 rides. Again, has the onboard audio. I know it kind of die. It does die in the second half, and some people take issue with the roughness, which I didn't really find to be an issue
Yeah.
when I wrote it. But the first half is just crazy intense. So this is actually one of my favorite B&M coasters I've ridden. Like straight up, it's in my top 30 overall. So happy to have it in
Wow.
my lineup. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, right, and I
I
do have
you get another one. I
yeah.
pers yeah, I don't have it ranked high at all. But I'm glad to hear that it's getting some love. I skip it most of the time. I'm not big into it. To me, it runs rough, but the first launch is incredible into the inversion, and
hmm
then I love how it goes through the fog. So it's really well presented. I can appreciate that, but just for me personally, I don't have it very high. Maybe top 40, maybe something like that.
hmm By the way, Kumba is eligible. Just will mention. I know obviously it is
Oh,
not
okay.
reopened, but if you want to take it, it is on the list, like the big board list that I have here.
Yeah,
So I am not taking it here.
awesome.
It was kind of one of those rides where it's like not completely redundant with Hulk, but like a little bit. So I'm gonna go in a different direction. Just trying to determine right now what is the best course of action is basically what I'm trying to figure out right now. I because Manta was like a sneaky good pick there. That I was definitely gonna try to get that in my next picks if it was still available. Because I love Manta, but there's like
We got a lot. We have a lot of coasters.
there is. I think I am gonna take my sort of. Um, I think if I looked at my rankings, this would be the next highest coaster for me. Um, but shoot, mm, man, this is actually a really hard. I
Tough.
did not like prep this prior in terms of I just kind of did it on the fly. Um, wow, yeah, this is very difficult. Okay, I think I am gonna do it. Bit of a interesting one. I'm gonna take Revenge of the Mummy here at
I had a
Universal
feeling you
Studios
were going for
Florida.
that.
Um,
Okay. I love
it,
it.
I believe, is my next highest ranked coaster of the ones on here. By the way, Rip Ride Rocket is not eligible. We'll just mention that, obviously, because it closed. So this is now my favorite coaster at Studios Florida. Excellent indoor coaster with some absolutely unhinged airtime moments, and some really nice theming as well. So Revenge of the Mummy is the next one I will pick. All right, you have
Awesome.
back-to-back picks here.
Okay. I have two. Okay. I'm gonna do first off, I'm gonna do one of my favorite. I Some people classify it as a family coaster. I think it's borderline thrill coaster. This would be Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa. It's obviously meant to get you into the way more thrilling coasters maneuver, but the fact when it goes over the Serengeti, when it just stretches all throughout the grass, it's insane. One of my favorite coasters when the water is working, when the coaster goes over the water and just does the S bends through the rocks, it is incredible. So Cheetah Hunt is great. I would highly recommend that one. My next one is going to be a little bit controversial because I know a lot of people actively do not like this ride, but I like it. And this is going to be Pipeline at SeaWorld Orlando. Pipeline, the surf coaster.
All
I
right.
love being a shorter guy. I'm able to jump really high when you go over the hills, and I have noticed that if you are shorter, you tend to like the ride a lot more than some of my taller friends do. But for me, fantastic. That's just my personal preference. This would probably be the rankings I'd be doing.
That's fair. I didn't enjoy Pipeline quite a bit as well, also on the shorter side, so we'll note that. But yeah, no, those are certainly two great picks. Um, in fact, that actually I feel like kind of puts me in more of a bind than I uh, initially thought because, yeah, this I
We're
actually
running
think
out.
I
No,
would have
yeah,
rather have went in a different direction looking at how you picked. Um, I mean, wow, this is tough. Um,
well, I don't
I
know what
mean,
I'm gonna do.
I love Tron, so I think I am gonna take that year. So I will take
Okay.
Tron at Magic Kingdom. Um, I have a decent bit of more like family thrill coasters at this point now. If you go with Hagrid's Revenge of the Mummy and Tron, so
Yeah.
we'll note that. Um, Not the biggest fan of dive coasters, so I'm not gonna take Shikra here. Though I haven't ridden it, which like that just puts me in
Ooh.
a really weird spot.
It,
Um,
it it's tough.
okay, it is redundant, but at this point,
Oh no.
I think it's the coaster that looks the best on the board. I'm gonna take Goomba at Busch Gardens Tampa.
Okay.
Um, I think that it's too good to pass up here for me. Although I haven't ridden it, I know some people don't love it, but I'm gonna take Kumba here. So you have next back-to-back picks.
Ooh, back-to-back picks. What would I take here? I'm gonna start off by going with Shikra at Busch Gardens, Tampa. I did not appreciate the coaster that much until I rode other dive coasters. Once I rode a lot more of them, I was like, wow, the one at my home park is really, really solid. It's not my favorite dive coaster. My favorite one is Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego, but I quite like it. It is really good. I appreciate that it has a tunnel. What other coaster do you drop into like a literal tunnel tower? Like it's incredible. And yeah, it just serves as the icon for that whole area of the park. Now, next, I am torn between a coaster that would make my list more solid or one I like more. So I'm trying to think for a second really quick. Um, yeah, I gotta go with the one I like more because one of these in my mind I really enjoy, and the other one's like it would look better on the list. But I'm gonna go with Space Mountain at Disney. I love Space Mountain. Some of the best airtime in Florida, and I'm serious with that.
No, you're
Sometimes they don't,
right.
yeah, they don't push the restraint down that far. You go flying. It's incredible. And I do like it more than what I was gonna say.
All right. Yeah, I guess that one also. I do actually have Space Mountain over Tron. I kind of forgot that it was further down the list, but I think kind of with what I had it, especially because I think with what I had it probably made more sense to go with other coasters. But no, Space Mountain is an excellent pick. Same with Shikra, just because it is going to be the only ride that delivers that type of experience on this list. Um, love the Emperor shout out. I did say that I was lower on dive coasters, but I've only ridden two of them. But between the two, Emperor was definitely the far better of the two. So
Mm.
between it and
I've
Valraven. So, um,
yeah.
but
Emperor. I've ridden a lot of dive coasters. I've ridden a surprisingly like a lot of those, and Emperor is by far the best. And then right under that would be Shikra and Griffin. So it's quite good.
the chat they have certain coasters
I,
they are suggesting. I tried to avoid looking at it, and technically I probably should go look at it, but I think I'm going with something that is not being suggested. Um, there is one coaster I want so badly to put in here, but it would be spicy. So
no. Oh no.
it would be. Um,
If it's what I think it is, I'll have opinions on it.
well then I think that I think I will refrain, and I will take um I think shoot, this is also difficult. But I think if I'm going off my general like rankings, I believe the next one would be Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando. So I will take that.
Solid.
Uh, enjoyed the airtime on this quite a bit. Um, may have been some people really hyped this up for me, so it may have
Yeah.
disappointed me a little bit, but it was still definitely very good. It's in around my top seven. It's definitely top 70, maybe top 60. I'd have to look at my list again. Um, and then after that, with my next pick, um, it is. I mean, yeah, I think I have to take Everest. I'm just looking at it; it's too good. I think to pass up
It's
at
good.
this point. So
It's good.
I will take Everest at Animal Kingdom. So I think
Okay.
that one, if I missed out on it with your next two picks, I would not have. That would have been tough. So
I was going for it. So
yeah,
I was going for it. I gotta go a little further. Next, I'm gonna choose a ride that I like depending on the day. So not all the time do I really gravitate towards this. It is okay. I think whatever replaces it is going to be a lot better than it, and I won't be sad. But this is gonna be Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. It's
fair pick.
when it was smooth, when it was smoother, it was solid, it was fantastic. But considering I don't have a lot of loopers on my list, I think that's a worthy choice. And next up, I'm gonna do a little bit of a controversial one and choose Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios. I think if we're looking just at the quality of the overall attraction, including the queue line, including any pre-shows, including the experience, just the experience. If I'm just saying the entire experience from start to finish, it's really well out. It's really well done. It's really well themed, and I don't even love the music, but I love the ride. So it will be better as Muppets, though. I'm very excited for that. Extremely excited.
That is a take, but
I am excited. I love the Muppets. So
fair enough. No, Rock and Roller Coaster is good pick there. Kraken as well. Um, wow, this is that kind of lined up pretty nicely for what I was looking for. I think I'm gonna do what I was looking to do. So I'll do the less spicy pick first, and we'll take White Lightning at Fun Spot, America
really,
Orlando,
oh,
and
oh, wow,
so I very much enjoyed White Lightning, and I've ridden it separate trips, and it rode pretty nice for me when I went. I think the airtime on it is really nice. Um,
Wow.
so I'll take White Lightning, and then I will take the spicy pick. I'm gonna take Mind Blower.
No, no. Oh
Uh,
my goodness. No, let me just say, when was the last time you wrote it?
Okay, I did write it last. What was it? Last November, and it was pretty brutal. Especially compared to my 2023 rides when I rode it, like right after they like retweaked the 2.8 retrack, it was actually
Yeah,
running pretty good then. But a year later, like yeah, it was
yeah,
brutal. But I mean,
yeah.
I just I still enjoy it. I mean, I still like the
Well,
elements on it.
come on down, ride it again, and then I will tell you this month, for some reason, this month they did something to it. I don't know what it is. I have never had more pain on a coaster in the front row.
Wow.
Horrible. Oh my goodness. One of my friends flew down from like Delaware. He rode it. Instantly worst coaster out of all of them. Ate. So funny. Yeah, so that thing's not touching anywhere near top 150 for me, but that is a-okay. I still enjoy it because it's kind of fun to get beat up on a coaster. But yeah, so that didn't hurt my list. For my next one, I'm gonna go with another kind of controversial one because some people don't like clones at all. I don't really mind them. This is gonna be Tigress at Busch Gardens Tampa. I like Skyrocket 2s. I'm not bothered by the restraint. The trains are a little funky, but really good hang time up top, and I ride this a lot more than I do other coasters at Busch Gardens. And I guess I get another one, don't I?
Yes.
Oh boy. Let me think real quick. Now we're towards the bottom now. We're towards the bottom of the different type of coasters. Let me think. Um, what do I want to do? I will go for oh, let me think real quick. This is a tough decision because
This is where
my
it thins out. I kind of wanted it to be a little longer because I'm like, I do kind of want to get to a point where it thins out.
it has thinned out a tremendous amount, and I am honestly torn to even select this on the list. It's that bad. But I'm gonna say a surprising one that might go a little bit higher, like maybe it should have been higher, would be Minecart Madness at Epic Universe.
All right.
I think this thing gets a lot more hate than it should. If simply because I mean, if you chose Mind Blower, I'm gonna choose this because Mind Blower makes this thing feel like glass running on glass. It's well themed. It's really fun. My only complaint with it should be a tiny bit longer, and the queue line should be a little bit more interesting. But I like this a lot more than other coasters.
That's fair. No, it does look really unique. I'm definitely very intrigued to check this out. When I go over, hopefully, like I said, this fall. Um, and I love I do like seeing it get some praise because yeah, I was a little surprised like because I plugged the like overall rankings in from like the Captain Coaster because it hasn't been on Vote Coasters
Mhm.
yet. How low it was. I'm pretty sure like in the Vote Coasters poll it'll be higher in actuality, but
Yeah.
that was certainly a little bit of a surprise there. So good pick. Um, Neither of those affect my. Even though I do like Skyrocket too, so Tigress, good shout out there. These next two are. I mean, yeah, I'll run these in. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts at Universal Studios Florida. I will need to
Solid.
adjust this because it is some. I didn't realize that. Yeah, some of these are like crazy long. So
Yeah, they're really long.
Hagrid's especially.
Oh
Um,
yes, yes.
okay, so I will have to zoom out too, just to get all those in. Yeah,
Ooh, these last six at the bottom. Ooh,
yeah, and then I have one more pick. So
yes.
um, because of that, as I go to like the wrong tab, um, I will go with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Magic Kingdom. That is, of course, under refurb, so I guess we're kind of basing off of what it was
Mhm.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Um, Disneyland version is better. Might change with the
Okay.
updates that Magic Kingdom does because I prefer the Disneyland one because um, the scenery and specifically the last lift hill was I think done a lot better on that. Just the theatrics with that. Which that might change
Okay.
now with the new updates. I'm not. I haven't looked too deep into what they're doing there. outside of like the new concept art that they just showed. But if gets to that quality, I'd actually prefer the Magic Kingdom one because it has that weird track section that ours
Yeah.
doesn't. So, uh, regardless, excellent Mine Train. So, uh,
Okay. This is where it falls apart for both of us. So we have the I gotta try to figure out a good one that was kind of missed. One thing I think could go a little bit higher, depending on what you like, if you enjoy theming, would be our version of Journey to Atlantis.
that was gonna be.
I
Uh,
like it. I
that was
like
gonna be
that
my
one a
next
lot.
pick. That's a great pick.
Oh, that was a good snipe right there. I had a feeling. I'm surprised that was not selected earlier. As for my next one, to be completely honest, I have no idea. So I'm going to just think real quickly. Um, wow, I'm definitely not picking Phoenix Rising, that's for sure, or Werewolf. Okay, this may cause me to lose, but I am prepared to go out in a ball of glory right here and explode. I'm gonna choose Galaxy Spin at Fun Spot
Oh my god, that's a
Kissimmee.
great pick. I love
I
Galaxy Spin.
love this ride. Let me just say, if you guys have not ridden this coaster, not even the Wild Mouse model, like literally this specific coaster, the second it unlocks, if you do this trick, if you throw your body to one side of it with like a friend next to you and you just unbalance the car, it's insane. I have gotten 50 spins before and I
Wow.
counted. So I have, yeah, I one of the greatest coaches ever. Easily, I would take this over some other ones. I cannot believe how we missed this. I'm so glad I was able to get that last one.
Man, that also I've only ridden this once. I did get an off balance car. I did not do that trick that you mentioned, but still, I mean, compared to the other spinning mice I've ridden, way crazier in terms of when it unlocks. Like it just probably definitely up there with the most disorienting rides I've ever had was on Galaxy Spin. So that was a sleeper hit when I got that credit last year. So that's a yeah, you're two like kind of sleepers, I suppose. I don't know if I was actually gonna pick Galaxy Spin, but I mean, as far as the rankings go, it would have those two. I think literally would have been the next one. So,
Yeah.
um, that's crazy. So let's see. As far as what I have to choose, I have like back-to-back picks. I mean, not like it matters much at this point because I mean,
Yeah.
wow, it's like incredible pickings here. Um, okay, I think I am going to go with. Um, yeah, let's go with. Um,
I have one I really hope you don't pick.
I'm gonna go with Cobra's Curse is gonna be one of them. Um,
Okay. Okay.
that just out of the ones I could see, it seemed like by far the best option. Like now we have two coasters that have rotating seats. I guess depending on how Cobra's Curse is working, I guess. But yeah, so Cobra's Curse, that's gonna be the next pick. Last one here is like there are options, like not like amazing options, but like there's a few I'm in
There are
between.
options. There are
Um,
options.
and I think I am going to go with.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
could do a really goofy one. I really could.
What Daddy Pig's coaster?
Not I mean that would certainly be
Not that
goofy, but
goofy.
not. I'm not gonna do it. I was thinking more the Hurricane at Fun Spot Kissimmee route.
I love that ride. I rode it a couple weeks ago. So fun.
I'm gonna not do that though. I'm gonna go with. Um, I feel like there's less stigma with this ride compared to the other, so I'm gonna go Slinky Dog Dash at Hollywood Studios. I don't know why
Wow.
people
Okay.
have a stigma towards both it and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Well, it's because of the wait times, right? I
Yeah.
think either of those would have been perfectly fine picks. Like I enjoyed those rides. Obviously, yes, you have to wait longer than you would like for those attractions, but I think as like kind of like family coasters, they definitely are quite good in that respect. Obviously, not to the level of like the stuff we were picking over earlier, which is like elite of the elite, like family thrill coasters. But for what they are, I think they serve their purpose very well and are enjoyable. And I very much enjoyed my night ride on Slinky Dog Dash with the light package. So that'll be my final pick. What's your last pick?
Okay, so I have two in my mind. I'll tell you what they both are and tell you which one I settled on. If it was just me, like a Josh list, like what is gonna please Josh like the most? Like I would say the Dragon Coaster at Legoland because of the little dark ride section. Like yes, like the big Lego fan. Let's see, I told you I could just grab a Lego. I have so
Mm-hmm.
much. But however, I'm gonna pick a ride that most of my audience thinks I hate because apparently I did a review and I was a little too harsh on it, even though I didn't think it got like hundreds of thousands of views. So like I'm known as a hater for this. But I think if I do it again, I'm gonna really like it. This is gonna be Curse of the Werewolf at Epic Universe. I've heard the front row, which is where I rode on my both my rides, is not that good on it. You got to be towards the back to actually spin some. So I have seen videos online of it spinning crazy. I want that to be me. So I am doing it based off faith that it's fantastic.
All right. Well, I mean, fair pick there. And I mean, of the options, you definitely just on paper looked like one of the better ones available. Um, so that's gonna do it for our list.
Your
Let's see
top
if I can
two is
zoom
good.
it in anymore without where it's still okay. Yeah, I think
If
that we'll do that.
yeah,
So
it,
I will put the poll up.
I think I did the best I could going first. But if I would have gone second, I would have done exactly yours. Iron Gwazi Velocicoaster. Um, or maybe I think I would have done Velocicoaster Stardust, but still fantastic.
All right. So who has the better coaster lineup? Get that in here. And you can vote now. I guess we'll have a decent bit of stuff. We'll have a decent bit of stuff to put on Instagram as well because I think,
Yes.
or at least these two specifically, which I think is more than usual, but per stream. Well, 5 votes in it, and they all voted for me. So.
I would because the thing Florida has is pretty much the three elite ones, and whoever gets that one. But which one would I choose? Yours is good. Like I'm trying to just think. Well, what would I?
You
Well, mine
you
has
did get a
Guardians,
vote.
so
You did get a
obviously
vote
I
right
did get
now,
a vote. Yes, let's go.
and then someone else voted for me. So we're
No.
at 86 to 14% right now.
Mine is very based on the style of ride that I like, which is nothing overly aggressive.
Mm.
And yeah, but none of us have Daddy Pig's roller coaster on there. So did any of us really win? I will say that.
That is true. If we were doing a kiddie coaster, that we had like a kiddie coaster category, because sometimes for those who've watched, that usually we'll have what's it called categories. I decided to get rid of that for this stream.
Mhm.
That one would have probably been picked pretty early, but
Couple points. Yeah, exactly.
would have maybe would have gotten you a win. Um,
Thank you, Theme Park Matt. Oh, the Josh list. Coaster Josh list. Yes. Thank you,
there you
Theme Park
go.
Magic, for agreeing. I got one.
I mean, looking at yours, is yours more technically balanced than mine? I
Probably
guess
not. I have a lot
it
of.
depends on the way you look at it, I suppose. Because I do have some
Oh,
rides that are pretty like Incredible Hulk and Goomba. I feel like are really redundant,
yeah.
but um,
It's your top two is fantastic. Iron Gwazi and Velocicoaster and like Stardust. Those are all in my top five. So it's Florida is stacked. If we just get one more like elite coaster that could be mentioned in the same conversation as Gwazi, Stardust, and Velocicoaster, then this would be more interesting. But this is very solid. This was fun.
yeah,
What
I
about the
think
Wooden Coaster? Yeah, I'm
or
sorry.
someone was asking
I was
about
reading a comment.
Coaster Saurus.
Coastersaurus.
Um, it exists, I guess.
I've
But
never ridden it.
yeah, it's a junior wooden coaster, so there is that. Shoot, my for me personally, I think, although I haven't ridden Gaussian Stardust, but I mean, Cosmic Rewind for me, I'd consider an elite coaster, like kind of in that conversation. Um,
So
but I
fun.
think for most people, you're right. They would just see the top three and be like, all right, it's those three. Um, I'm very curious once I write all four of them because for me, I personally view it as like kind of the big four between those four, how they're going to rank. I think that's going to be very interesting with adding Iron Gwazi and Stardust into the mix. So um,
Yeah, I'm
definitely
excited to hear what you think. Yeah.
stay tuned. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this fall, and I'll have a stream probably talking about it. So um, that'll be exciting if that's able to work out. Um, Swap Goomba for even Dragon, and it would be a good list. That's crazy. That I mean, it would make more sense, right? But yeah. Let's see. Um, and an Airtime Odyssey asks, "Do you care if we do same style games on live streams?" Oh no, you can totally like. I mean, these segments I do not like hold copyright or whatever on these different segments. In fact, I've helped a few podcasts out, or one recently, with getting one of their drafts set up. So no, you can totally take inspiration from these. I'm not like super like tight on it. I mean, these are segments that like anyone could do. Really, it's not like I patented it or anything like that. So you can go ahead. That's totally cool. Um, but of course, I guess the only thing is like if if you it doesn't you don't have to do it, but if we could like if like you could say, oh, it was inspired by like the Coaster Time streams and stuff from Coaster Hour, that would certainly be appreciated. But I mean, you don't have to do that. But no, totally you can do that. So we'll mention that. Um, but anyways, we'll move on to the next segment. So I was the winner, so we'll just mention that
Yes.
there.
I would say
Um,
I would say you'd probably be the winner.
because it's at 78 to 22 percent. So we will move on to our next segment, which is going to be roller coaster model roulette. Here are the rules. Ignore the part about the dice roll. We already discussed that before the stream. Basically, the coaster models that Josh will get, he will be picking North American parks. The ones I get will be international parks. That'll just make it kind of easier. But basically, how this segment works in general is that we will get each of us three different coaster models from a random wheel of 100 of them. This is a newer segment, so definitely still kind of testing the waters. I may have too many coaster models, to be honest, because we get some obscure ones in here. So that may be shrunken in the future, but for now, that is the amount we have. And we're gonna have to determine which park we would send these to, basically. So that's pretty much it. You and Jack can also help us out if you understand the parks or models better, and we also have time to do a little bit of research as well when we
Nice.
make these picks. So surprisingly, on the wheel chart, this was like buried deep, so it took a little bit for me to get it, but here is the wheel. I will go first here, just to. Oh, and then there is a list. I will pull it up, just in case we get any redundant models that have already been picked for certain parks. It's very unlikely, but I'll just have it on here in case. And then also give me a number between 1 and 10 again.
Do 4.
All right, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be my first spin. I'm doing for an international park. Josh will be doing for U.S. and North American parks. And the first one we get is a Gerstlauer Infinity Coast. Oh, no, an Infinity
Ooh.
Invert. So this is
Oh.
like Storm the Dragon Legend at Tusenfried, or I think that's how you pronounce it. Shout out to that park. They follow me on Insta. I probably should know how to pronounce the park.
That's crazy.
Um, but But it's out in Norway, so shout out there. Um, and then there's also another one that opened in Colombia as well. That's a lift hill version. The name of it is escaping me at Parque del Cafe. Um, so just because of the model it is, I can probably go off of who Gerstlauer has worked with recently is probably a good starting point to kind of find a landing spot. And then where also would probably be a good fit there. Um, so just looking at it. Yeah, this is, and then I'm also doing international, so that kind of makes it a little trickier on my
Yeah.
end. But I wanted
There's
to
a
make it so those because we have international viewers who usually watch like kind of on demand basically, so don't want to leave them out. Um, but you could see this going to a smaller park like a boardwalk park. Definitely could have that compact
yeah.
nature to it. Um, so
Yeah.
that is a
I
good
don't think it would
shout
be as
out.
expensive as like an Intamin counterpart. So maybe a budget, like maybe this would be a park's big edition, for like maybe like a mid-sized to smaller park. It would be their big thing. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, okay, I got a weird one and a bit of a funny one. This is gonna be obscure, just heads up. But I don't believe they have an inverted coaster, so I think I'm actually gonna do it. So there's this park in Finland called Power Park. They have two Gerstlauer Infinity coasters, in Junker and Pitts Special that are both green.
The
So
two green ones, yes.
let's complete the trifecta. Probably a meme pick more than anything else. Um, but I mean, why not? We will do Power Park for this one. Uh, Definitely off to a bit of an unconventional start, but yeah, there we go. That's gonna be the pick. Like I
Solid.
said, more goofy than anything else, but
More green, yeah.
more Gearstar Infinity and more green. So
More
there we
green.
have it. Um, Alrighty, so this will be
Okay.
your spin. If it's something too obscure, we can re-roll it. Like I said, there's 100. I may have to get rid of some of these. Um, okay, so this is like the
Ooh.
model that's basically Thunderbolt at Luna Park,
Okay.
out in New
Yeah, like
York,
the Rolling Thunder.
or Rolling
Yeah.
Thunder at Tropic Falls in Alabama.
Well, the thing about Zamperla is they have their foot in the door with so many parks simply because of the flat rides and the kiddie rides. I do think that it would go to a park more budget conscious because I don't anticipate them being that expensive. I would say they're probably similar in comparison to like a Gerstlauer Eurofighter or a smaller Gerstlauer Infinity. Now, as for who is most likely to get this, that is a whole nother
I mean, you
question.
can
So
go
let me
likely or just what you're feeling out, basically, whichever.
let me check the RCDB real
Mm-hmm.
quick. If y'all in the chat have any ideas of where we should put this in terms of U.S. parks, Zamperla
I
Thunderbolt
see a
model,
few suggestions. Um, I
Frontier
think
City.
I don't know if the Fun Spot Atlanta one was for the previous, but Six Flags Great
I was
America
I
and
was
Frontier
gonna I was
City.
gonna I was gonna I was gonna say that if
Okay.
I'm just going with a sillier, almost okay, so I think the fun spot parks are going to get some sort of roller coaster soon, like a bigger one, whether it be a Raptor or RMC thing, or something cheaper like or something cheap from a different company like a Gerstlauer Eurofighter or something like that. This would be a pretty decent option. So just for like also, another thought I just thought of, Icon Park in Orlando, um, they need a coaster, just something there. I don't know how much space they have, but if they did a really compact one of those, this is another really kind of like a meme one. You know what? You know what? Oh, there was also a good comment. They said Thunderbolt at Mount Olympus. That's that's the best
That
comment.
would be a crazy one, just
That's a
considering the history.
that's the funniest one
Uh,
I have. I think it wins. I change it. Change
No.
it. Forget what I was saying. It goes to Mount Olympus just purely
Oh
for the memes. I love
God.
it. I love it.
Dude,
I
I don't
love it.
know if I could put that in. That's like a dark joke.
Oh my goodness. Okay, no. Then I'm gonna say fun spot. Fun coaster. That's
Do they
crazy.
actually, does Mount Olympus have like any other Zamperla attractions other than, well,
No,
obviously a certain
it's
one?
unlike it is unlike it is very very unlikely. Okay, I'm just gonna say this is tough for this one because this could go anywhere. Everyone worked with Zamperla. Um, yeah, okay. I'll go fun spot. I'll go fun spot America. Actually, they have a decent plot of land that we thought was going to be used for a raptor, but they put a splash pad in there
And which
instead.
location?
This is gonna be the one in the Orlando one, not Orlando,
Okay.
not the Kissimmee. Simply because they need some type of more compact coaster there. I know these can be made pretty compact. There was one, I forgot where it was, somewhere in South America that was a really
Mm-hmm.
smaller version.
I think it's called
Yeah, that could go.
Relampago. Horrible
Yes, that one.
pronunciation, but
That's
you
and
get the
good
idea.
thing. I do get the idea, and the good thing that was a relatively cheap coaster to build, and then Fun Spot is all about being budget conscious, which is why they get a lot of their rides like used and stuff. So I think that would actually work pretty well to have Fun Spot America.
All right, no,
Yeah,
that's a
and
good pick, and it would
yeah,
stand out in their skyline a little more, which I think is something that
yes.
would be nice for them. So, like
Mm-hmm.
that. Put a light package on this thing too. We'll mention
Yes.
that.
That's a
Um,
good comment. That's a little depressing. They added the splash pad instead of a coaster. Yeah, that is true.
yeah. Well, sometimes that's how it goes. All right, next spin. So that's two models down, four more to go. Um, and the next one we get is, okay, what on earth? We're getting like similar models
Wow.
because this is like kind of
Can you put it
similar logic to although Gerstlauer Eurofighter
Power
is gonna be
Park all the
pretty.
way?
Oh my god.
Give Power Park another one.
Nah, I will refrain, as funny as that would be. That
Yeah.
I will refrain from doing that. Uh, but that would be funny. Um, yeah, Gerstlauer Eurofighter is interesting. Again, I'm going to bring, and for Europe, I mean, there's, just honestly name like a small park that could use like a major coaster on a budget, and you could throw this in. Um, Ferrari World would Abu Dhabi would actually not be a park I'd be looking at for that. Just seeing that in the chat. Um, Actually, what if we
Hmm.
just to connect things from earlier? I'm trying to look and make sure that this would fit in. Um, because it's unconven. I mean, all right, I'm gonna do it. Tucson Fried shout out. They are
Oh
getting
my
a Gerstlauer
goodness.
Eurofighter. It makes sense for them too because they don't have a coaster with that kind of beyond vertical drop, and then they do have a sit down looper, but it's a older Vekoma looper, so Speed Monster's there,
It's
but
full
I,
circle. Yeah.
I think this will be a good one. Shout out as well, like I said, follows me on
Solid.
Instagram, so.
Solid choice. Yeah. This is a fun segment. Okay, let's see. Let's see what I got. What kind of obscure coaster is it gonna be?
And to be
Or
fair, they
just
have
a
not been
mainstream
that
one?
crazy obscure yet.
No.
Um, and well, that's
Oh no. So SeaWorld San Antonio is probably not an option, I would
yeah.
say.
We're gonna say no on San Antonio because we know they haven't
Okay.
announced it, but we know.
We know. Um, let's think. So let me think. Of the SeaWorld parks, so both Busch Gardens have one. SeaWorld San Antonio. I mean, do they complete the deal by giving it to does San Diego have any invert?
They do not, and I believe
Ooh.
Tidal Twister's land is still available, so we'll
I
mention that.
honestly, that is by far the most likely in my opinion, because SeaWorld Entertainment or United Parks now really seems to love this model. They
Mm.
love the B&M family. SeaWorld Orlando has Penguin Trek, which is a family B&M. I'm they're gonna get some type of family B&M. I think it would be very likely, or at least it would fit the pattern. Other parks it could be, yeah. I think that's by far the one that I would put it at,
No,
especially since they don't have an invert at all. Yeah.
that's an excellent pick, and I think out of all of these is definitely the most realistic. um, but hey, I mean, hey, if one of these other ones ends up coming true, you heard it here first.
Yes.
SeaWorld San Diego. I think I think it has been brought up before, but it doesn't make it any less of a great pick because I mean it makes sense, right? So, um, that's really good there, and I'd be happy with it. Would love to see SeaWorld San Diego get another coaster. Um, as for my next one, oh boy, so we do get a weird one. So the
Ooh,
Intamin
I
Family
like
Spinning
these.
Coaster is a bit complicated to explain, or not really complicated, but and I actually have to look at my list just to make sure it is the one I'm thinking of. So the Intamin Family Spinning Coaster is, and I don't even know why it's listed as a different model. It's like basically the same thing as a multi-dimension coaster, but it's not, I guess,
Oh,
considered
like
for whatever reason. Objective
mm,
Mars at Futuroscope is currently the
Futuroscope.
only
Yes.
one that exists. So, and they have a lot of like thematic elements you can do as well. Dark ride elements. You can
You throw a drop
incorporate
track
drop
on there. Yeah.
tracks on them. Spoilers, sorry if you were gonna ride Objective Mars in the near future and you didn't need to get that spoiled. Apologies there. But yeah, so we're kind of thinking along the lines of this coaster, and the fact that it's an international park makes my life a lot easier too. Um, so since Futuroscope is a park that got it, that is in the same chain as the Wallaby parks. So probably would make sense to look within that chain. What could realistically use a coaster like this? And actually, I think I do have potentially a fantastic fit for this. We're gonna go with Wallaby Holland. This is actually a layup pick for me because they are one of the few European parks that they do not have family coasters like hardly at all. I know that they just added
Well,
Joy and they have a family side, but I mean,
it's not. It's not.
from what I've heard, it really isn't. So, Wallaby Holland will be the pick here. I think it would be
Solid.
nice to see a themed coaster as well, with potentially some dark ride elements. I think would work wonders here as well, especially because they have a rock and roller coaster clone that's just out in the open. So,
Just in the open.
yeah, this will be my pick. I think it's uh, actually pretty good on the fly pick there. So,
That was very very solid.
and here is the last model, and this will be
Oh
for you to
boy.
pick. And oh, are you gonna get a fun one? Okay, so this is the
Okay.
actually. Do you want to respin this because it is a different
This is the
model?
old one, right? The older
So
one
this
that's
is
just
like Tornado, like at Bakken, like
oh,
um, the insane like
well,
kind of spinner,
yeah.
basically. So if you want to respin,
Realistically, I don't see many parks adding this at
hmm
all, simply because
so
the
we can
capacity is horrible for the
we can
price. So yeah, I
so
do
you want to
too.
respin? Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that. I
because
thought it was gonna land on
it,
Intamin Giga, so
I thought it was too. That would be a tough one. I could hopingly hope for Busch Gardens Tampa, but B&M.
okay. So this is it
Ooh,
is exactly as it says. It is the Vekoma sit down model is a Lek coaster clone. So you are deciding where it goes. Some could argue it's more of a layout, but for whatever reason, it's like listed as a model for whatever reason,
ooh.
which is kind of weird. But anyways, um,
Okay, right off the top of my head, I'm trying to think how much similar they have. I'm trying to think of which parks work with Vekoma a lot. I mean, I know a Hirschend can do it, so either a Dollywood Silver Dollar City would be very cool. Um, but Maybe they, but you're saying the exact clone of the ride?
Yes, it would be literally like the same layout,
Oh,
and
they
that
just
ride is
plop it
like
down.
uber intense. Just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, then I don't know. Then I don't. Then if they just have to plop it down, I would say I like the comment that 61 coasters did. I was going in that direction for SeaWorld Orlando for them to replace Kraken with.
Mm.
Because Kraken is going. It's I mean, I'm pretty sure within the next 2 years it's not gonna be there. But I'm not they could change their mind and but that's a good plot of land. And right next to Journey to Atlantis, I could see them going for it. And they are receiving a Vekoma shipment
That
to
is
SeaWorld
true.
Orlando.
That
Do I
is
think
true.
it's do I think it's for a Vekoma Let coaster? Probably not. I'm leaning more towards Dark Ride, Family Coaster, and then Tilt Coaster, like in that order. But yeah, I'll just say for fun, SeaWorld Orlando. That would be awesome. Wishful thinking. That'd be great.
I think because it's such a like realistically we're not gonna see this anywhere. But I guess you're kind of thinking along the lines of just a general Vekoma looping coaster, and SeaWorld Orlando
Yeah.
would be a very sensible spot, especially
Yeah.
if you're thinking with Kraken. Obviously, there being a ton of smoke around that
Yeah.
ride's potential demise.
Yes.
So
Either I mean they're gonna like eventually get something from my prediction would be either from Mach or Vekoma. Those are the just simply and now I would say I would even lean towards Vekoma now because of that Stardust Racers exists. But who knows? I think I would love to see that happen.
I mean, I think though if it were like a striker coaster or different enough, they could certainly go with Mach. But that is a fair
Yeah.
point. So.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that'll wrap up the roller coaster model roulette. That's certainly some fun picks for this one. So
Interesting, yeah.
very much was a fun segment, and that'll lead us into the final Q&A. Any last questions? Any last buy or sells you have? Let us know in the chat. And actually, we got through these segments
Yeah, I was gonna say.
in good time here. So let's see. I think we will take questions up till I guess we can see where we're at 9:50 Eastern. Depending on how many questions we get, I may do a question cutoff there because usually when it comes to questions, like it obviously takes longer to answer them.
Yeah.
But we'll just kind of go by just how much we're getting, I suppose. So um, that'll be the plan there. So send us your questions. Also, any buy or sells. Shout out, of course, to
Yes.
Airtime Thrills, who, of course, previous guest, who initially brought that segment to the coaster community. Um, oh, you had no idea about
That's
the OPA
awesome.
accident? Oh, well, that
I
was a
I didn't
tragic.
either.
That was
I
a
just
tra-
I didn't either until I pulled out my phone. I was like, oh wait, that's why they don't talk about those two parks and companies together. I was like, oh, okay.
that. I don't know what the entire fallout of it was, but I mean, yeah, that was, and it's kind of, especially because it's been so long ago.
Yeah.
Um, do they still? But they might still have rides from Zamperla. I'm curious. Um, yeah, actually, they do apparently. So they have
So
something
sure.
called Manticore apparently is still there, and that's apparently a Zamperla
Hmm.
attraction.
Yeah.
Um,
So
so I
so
mean, it
there's
could
some
still
type of
happen,
relationship.
but
Some type of relationship
yeah,
exists.
it's just I could not help myself but think on the last coaster they had there from them. But yeah, no, it could make sense there. But also Mountain Olympus in general is just kind of a meme park. So,
Yes.
um, but anyways, so sell Six Flags
Six
Darien
Flags
Lake.
Darien Lake.
Maybe not that literal.
Not that type. Not that type of sell. But are they one of the ones that are operated or like or are they
They are one of
owned?
the ones that it's owned by EPR Properties, and
Yeah,
Six
that's what I thought.
Flags operates them. They have a contract, I believe. We did this segment with JB Thrills. I believe the contract to operate it is through 2037. So they
Yeah.
don't really own the park, but it's in a list with several other parks, mostly water parks. But the only
Yeah.
other like
Like the
dry
Hurricane
park is Frontier
Harbors. Yeah.
City, um, that they operate. Um, but I think it could make sense to move off of those parks if it makes sense because Six Flags has to
Yeah.
put capital investments. They're responsible for the capital expenditures in those parks as part of the deal there. So.
Absolutely. So they would most likely pull a little bit of the funding if to the level that doesn't break the agreement.
Mm-hmm. Or potentially, depending on how it's written, they might be able to opt out, like how
Yeah.
Cedar Fair did with Gilroy Gardens, because they had a
Yes.
agreement with the city, and they just, I'm pretty sure they opted out before the contract was up. So, um, did we hear that? Okay, I'm like completely lost here.
Did you hear we got another amusement park, water park, bought by a company, Ripley's Entertainment, bought the remaining three Hawaii Falls Park.
I don't know what
Interesting.
Hawaiian Falls is, so if
Are those water parks?
I assume. Okay,
Yeah.
they are water parks. Admittedly, even though I have, previous experience, obviously working at my local water park, out the industry, like the wider water park spectrum as a whole, I'm still like not as in tune to. But yes, they are a chain of water parks, so I suppose Ripley's Entertainment purchased them. That is interesting. But I have honestly, I'm not familiar with these water parks, but I guess good on Ripley's for
Yeah.
getting into new places. Like I said, any questions, any buy or sells,
Anything at all.
let us
Any
know.
questions? We are down to answer. Um,
But I guess I can just ask you got any um, content plans or anything that you can let the people in know on?
I will be doing another trip soon to a state I've already been. So I'm going back to Pennsylvania and I first of all, Pennsylvania and then New Jersey. I got to give Great Adventure another chance. My my visit there was, let's say, less than ideal. I was so disappointed in the park. It was just sad. There was like an overwhelming sadness that flew the par- that flew around the park. Um, and I got to give Toro another chance. Toro, personally, for me, really disappointed me because it just did not live up to any of the hype. But I'm thinking maybe if I go again with fresh, just a fresh view of it, it might live up there because, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that. And also, it was so crowded when I went, I didn't get to do Jersey Devil. So,
Mm.
because that was the day I did Sesame Place and Dorney also. So we did all three. So some can say some people joke that I chose Wacky Taxi over Jersey Devil, but that is
To be honest, I don't think
partially
that's a
true.
bad trade-off like at all. Like considering because Wacky Taxi is like stupidly hard to get actually. Because I know of
So
people
good.
who've missed out on it because it has like a decent bit of downtime. And it's like Jersey
Does.
Devil, if you're thinking you're gonna go back there, it's like you'll get it. Um,
Yeah.
so not a bad
I
trade-off.
waited. Oh, I see. There's some questions now, but I
Hmm.
waited an hour for Wacky Taxi because it broke down as I was waiting in line. So it was already a 30-minute line. I waited down. They broke down. They had to swap the trains out. So they swapped out the train, the I Heart Trash train, for the Scram train. And then the guys walked on the track. They did it. They sent it around 6 times, and then we finally got to ride. But that thing has some of the most aggressive airtime on a coaster under, like, I don't even know how tall it is. Some of the most aggressive airtime on any coaster of that size. It is insane. Um, I was so pleased with that. I'll also be doing some of the boardwalk coasters, and then I'll be back at Dorney Park, which is one of my sleeper hit parks that I really, really like.
Yeah,
That's in
that
about
sounds like a lot of
2 weeks.
fun.
2 weeks. Yeah, yeah. I'm super excited. Okay,
Uh,
tell Dorney
I
Park.
think you would
No,
disagree.
no, no. One of my favorite, Cedar Fair parks. It is. It doesn't have much, but what it does have, it does really well. I think Iron Menace is not bad at all. That thing is one of the most hated rides I have ever seen. People rave about how bad it is, but I really enjoyed it. Possessed is fantastic as well. And the sleeper hit of the park, Hydra the Revenge, is the best B&M floorless I've ever done.
Yeah, and I mean, Hydra does certainly look like a very interesting ride. As far as the floorless coasters goes, definitely a very unique layout. And it had the first ever JoJo roll, which is pretty sick as well. So,
Mhm.
seems like a very nice park overall. Definitely one that I want to get to, hopefully in next few to several years here. Hopefully sooner rather than later, because ideally I'd want to revisit Hershey Park and could lump that in. So, yeah, that would certainly be fun to do, and excited to hear your thoughts on the parks, and hopefully you get redemption on El Toro. I will say though,
Yes.
future seasons might end up being where it rides better because they just started the retrack this year, but they're going to be doing more significant portions in the upcoming season. So hopefully that'll go like a long way. But
Yeah.
regardless, maybe you'll get a better ride this time around. So.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Um, what do we got?
I will do the coaster related questions first and circle back to a
Yeah,
non coaster
actually,
question. Or sell Michigan's Adventure
there's
to
two.
United Parks. I would not. Um, I'll
No,
just
yeah,
say
I
that
wouldn't
much.
I wouldn't give United Parks more than they need to handle right now because they're doing better. I've been monitoring the company's financials. They have been showing some improvement, which is more than previous years. So I think what they have to work with now is probably even a little too much, but they should continue with that.
Very good. Yeah,
Um,
no, I just Michigan's Adventure in general is kind of weird. I don't. It's one of those parks. I know that there's been a lot of conversation with Six Flags of late. Like, I do believe that yes, they're gonna have to either move off of some of the properties that they operate, and then also probably sell some. Like, I expect there are probably gonna be potentially another park or two that we see
oh
sold
yeah.
and or closed, if not more than that. Probably more so on the sell side, but still. Um, I still don't believe Michigan's Adventure would be one of those. Um,
You know either.
but
It's yeah. I've
I
heard that Michigan's Adventure is pretty profitable because they don't have to
mhm,
input much into the park. In terms of other parks, the staffing cost is relatively low compared to the I guess the reward, the in-park spending. Um,
mhm.
next,
No, I
yeah.
or sorry, hold up. You had uh, or any last thoughts on the Michigan's Adventure? I
I'd love to get out there one day. That's about it. I was just the next question's kind of funny.
uh,
Yo, yeah, you
we'll
can,
get to
yeah,
that.
I'll
Yeah,
answer it.
let's do it.
Yo, Josh, are you still scared of the animals at Busch Gardens? Great question. So, as if many of y'all don't know, Busch Gardens is my home park. I rarely see the animals at that park. I'm not a huge animal guy. I don't like animals touching me. So when they're one of my most viral videos, I'd say, well, not super viral, around like I think 50K, is where I pet a kangaroo. I faced my fear, and I was like, I just barely did it. Um, yeah, I don't like going in the bird exhibit there where the birds just land on you. So yes, the answer to that is yes.
Oh no, I have the bird fear. I do have. Used to never have it. Then I got pooped on by birds twice in a single year.
Oh,
So not in an aviary setting, just like in general. Like one time it was at school. It was like after PE or something. So that was unfortunate. Although it was
horrible.
like just kind of barely. But I got hit pretty bad in Santa Cruz. Not on the actual park, but on the beach. Um, so that
Oof.
was by a pelican. So it was
Oh,
not
that
pretty.
one's rough.
Yeah, no,
That one is rough.
it was not great. Few that I was not alone in terms of casualties that trip with my cross country team
Oh
years
no,
ago. But
that's
um,
wild.
yeah, no, it is. I will say though I haven't done it in a few years, but do like the snorkel, so we'll mention that. Um,
I will do that as well. I don't get fish are not as bad. Not as bad.
but the birds totally can get that, and then even like the kangaroo, that's totally fair. Um, in terms of touching the animals or the animals
Yeah, it's
touching you
the kangaroos.
specifically.
I don't know if you've done the specific kangaroo exhibit at Busch Gardens. Well, I don't know if have
I
been to Busch
haven't been
Gardens,
to
but
Busch Gardens yet.
they just go on the path. Like so,
Hmm.
it's like there's a giant gap in the fence on the walking section where the kangaroos just go, and it goes up to you. It's quite intimidating, 'cause especially if you haven't seen like a kangaroo before, for like I haven't. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I our zoo does have a little like kind of walk around thing. I think technically, I think they can like jump over the stuff if they want, but usually they don't end up on the paths. I guess in some places they're just more friendly or like familiar with people and like more willing to interact. So I guess it's kind of different. But no, I have not touched a kangaroo, and a kangaroo hasn't attacked me. So doing pretty good there. Um, uh, only I think I've only been attacked by like one exotic animal, and it wasn't like that crazy. But I in a trip to Mexico, there's these animals that are called coatis. They're kind of similar to a raccoon. I was at my hotel eating pizza, and it tried to steal.
No.
It tried to steal pizza from me.
Oh my goodness, that's actually insane.
Did not succeed. Um, the
Well,
funny
I'd
thing
give it
is,
the pizza. I just go throw it.
nah, they are receptive to you kind of shooing away. So the weird thing is that place had there were those, and then there was also wild raccoons, which was interesting because it was like both of those were there. Um,
Wow.
but anyways, um, let's see. I'm not even gonna bother. The United, like, no, Kings Island is
Yeah.
love Kings Island, so not gonna say anything there. Frontier City,
Mhm.
that I could see that potentially being a park that
Yeah.
could change
Yeah, if y'all just give us
operational hands.
any coaster related thought, even if it's like what you think's gonna happen, it doesn't have to be like the park selling like another
Mm-hmm.
park or something like that.
Yeah, like buy or sell is like specifically like a question of if you think something's gonna happen, and we're also taking general questions as well, not literally like are we like talking about literally if parks are gonna be bought or sold.
That's
Of course, it can be
I
that, but not always.
that's what well no, I when Airtime Thrills did his videos, I was like, man, he's making another video if he's buying or selling the park, and eventually until I watched one, I was like, oh, that's what that means. Then I went back and watched all the old ones, and I was like, how many videos can you make about them selling parks?
He's like almost 50 episodes deep or something like that at this point, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, if you thought
Yes.
that was what it was, I don't
It
blame you.
did
I was
for a
like,
while.
how on earth can you do this? And they're like, 10 to 20 minutes basically. It's
Yes.
like, how
Yeah.
on earth? No, it was based on like it's like a kind of usually it's like a sports talk segment like in sports media.
Yeah.
So um, they I think the inspiration came from that. Um, Kennywood gets a Vekoma suspended family coaster as their next coaster. I suppose is a buy or sell. I do like
Hmm.
the idea of it, and especially with Herschel now owning it, um, certainly could be something that's on the table.
I I would say I don't think there is a gap obviously for family coasters. They have Exterminator right now. However, just looking at the demographic that they get, I feel like they would still need a substantial attraction before they move back to the family market. But Vekoma would be great to work with them. But yeah, that's just my thought on that part because they have a lot of family stuff there. A lot of it is family stuff, not necessarily a coaster. So it really depends what way Hirsch looks through the financials of the park and they look through the demographics, and if the park's just a bunch of teenagers mostly, and then they might pivot to a different direction based on that.
I feel like they might lean more into the family aspect though to kind of potentially weed out
Yeah,
the teenagers being like their
yeah,
primary group because it just seems like in general it's probably more sustainable way to operate a park.
yeah.
It just kind of depends on how they look at it, but I do like the idea, so I will buy it. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that park. I don't know that they'll get a substantial ride addition like for a decent while, but I think it's going to be a lot more like quality of
Mm.
life, like infrastructure upgrades.
Festivals, different type
Mm-hmm.
of festivals, different types of events. I think they're gonna add those to see how well they do with the family market because those are a lot easier than a
Mm-hmm.
ride, I would say, because it's just mostly just staffing costs. And once they do the tests of that, then they'll kind of pivot on the market.
Mm-hmm. No,
So
totally makes
possibly buy
sense.
in the future. Maybe if yeah, possibly buy in the future.
I guess that's our next coaster that is potentially a little bold, but we'll see. Um, let's see. Do we think? And I know we did hit that time, but we're getting more questions that are coming in. So I will do a hard cutoff. 10 p.m. Eastern will be, if you put your questions in by then, we'll answer
Yes.
them. Anything that comes afterwards, that'll just be the hard cutoff. Um,
Yeah.
but we can answer questions like that. Like our answers may go past that time, but the actual questions
Yeah.
coming in
So
have to
get
be
your
by
questions
10.
in, get your last questions in, and we will answer pretty much anything. Okay.
Do we think Great Escape is getting a family invert from B&M? Is this related? Yeah, this is related to that shipment label that was didn't really make sense because the port it actually was shipped to, even though Great Escape was the label, was in Houston. So
Yeah.
there's like, and that was the only basically logic for this like rumor that came out. So I don't think this is
Mhm.
gonna happen. So if this is a buy or sell, I'm
Yeah,
selling this.
I would also sell it. I don't think Great Escape is going to get anything substantial, and I would call a B&M family invert, I guess, substantial for them. It's a decent chunk of investment that the parent company would have to separate for that park. So probably not. And they just got something. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it would be nice to see it, but it would certainly I think be a little surprising to see Great Escape get another edition so quickly after Bobcat. Even though there is smoke around Canyon Blaster now, if that has potentially operated for the last time,
mhm.
certainly some smoke swirling around there too. And then 61 coasters heading out. Good to see you here. As Charged comes to the stream, hello, joins the stream.
Hello.
Um, and then theme park magic. Are there any parks that Six Flags can sell besides the undeveloped land across from King's Dominion? Um, I'll actually, if you can answer first for this.
So the question of if they're going to sell any more parks at all is pretty much dependent on their current financial situation. Um, is there any parks besides undeveloped land? Yeah. So there's a lot of like gloom and doom surrounding. There's a lot of gloom and doom talk surrounding Six Flags' current financial situation. However, I think a lot of it's blown out of proportion. There are obviously parks that they could sell off during I guess worst case scenario should it come down to it, like Six Flags St. Louis, some of the stuff that gets kind of underfunded, but I think they have time before making those calls, but they have a little bit more time before we enter like panic mode. So yes, there are other parks, like I said, St. Louis maybe, but I would say the big determining factor for the park, if it's going to be sold, are two things: the value of the land in the surrounding area versus the potential profit of the park.
Mm-hmm.
So Six Flags America perfectly fit that bill right there. The potential profit and the value of the land kind of weighed the scale. The valuable land
Mm-hmm.
because it's in a good area, and the park could not make that much money even if they pumped a bunch into it. So that's sold. They would just have to do that equation with pretty much a lot of the parks. That's my take on it. I'm doing a video about this soon. That's kind of what I came up with.
I will. Obviously, some things have changed. You know, the earnings report came out, and I know that there was like a direct quote basically saying that they were looking to divest out of some of the non-core properties. What that could mean is that some of the water parks,
Yeah.
is that some of the dry parks, is that like the potentially the EPR situation. Like, you know, there's a lot of is it some of the undeveloped land? Uh, so there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but I am of the belief that yeah, we will see certainly some movement with the properties outside of the undeveloped land. Um, uh, I think out of all the parks right now that like Six Flags actually owns, Six Flags St. Louis is the one that I think is probably the most
Yeah,
likely.
that's
Um, I would say, and to me, at least as far as the ones that they like fully own, I that would be my next bet. And honestly, I really would not be surprised if that is the next one that is doomed here in like next few years, or like
yeah.
even maybe even next year even. So I think that yes, there are parks that Six Flags can sell for sure. It just depends on uh, the points that you mentioned. Is it worth like how much can they make off of selling it with the land versus what they're making when operating it? So I think those are some good points there. Um, let's see what other ones. Um, I will circle back to a non-coaster question from earlier just so I don't lose it. I don't know if you follow the NFL. You have any thoughts on the season coming up? If not, then pretty simple.
The For me, I'm not huge into it. My family is though. It's definitely very big here in Tampa with the Buccaneers. There's a lot of pride for the Bucks. Actually, all Tampa sports, including the Lightning and the Rays. But yep, it's starting up, and I'm not in the culture of like I guess the football culture, but I'm around it a lot. So you can kind of tell, I guess, feel it in the air in Tampa because we're a very sporty kind of area. So
A lot of success the
excited though.
last few years too.
Mhm.
So, um, but yeah, I kind of, I mean, the people in Tampa, of course, are going to be Bucks fans. Your family, you said, is into it. I imagine they've got to be pretty big Bucks fans. You see,
Yeah.
I am a Falcons fan, which
Okay.
being in California
Oh.
is a bit unconventional. I have some family in Atlanta, so that's part of the reason. Also, when I was little, I thought their
Okay.
logo looked cool, and the colors. I like the red and black, uh, but and so I've just stuck with them, and it's been a miserable existence. Um, but and we are facing the Bucks tomorrow, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
um, we will probably lose, so that is my
Yeah.
expectation going in. I do not for my team. I don't have very high hopes. I think we'll come close to making the playoffs and just miss it, and it'll be kind of a coin flip between if we end up firing our current head coach and GM and doing a new regime, or if they give them one more year. I think it's going to be a very kind of close decision between those. I'm not super optimistic, unfortunately. Though I do think our quarterback, Michael Penix, will play well. I do believe in him. It's just the defense, especially. I still have a lot of questions, even with the investment we've put into them, and specifically, I think the coaching needs to prove itself out, which I'm not super. I don't have a lot of faith in that either, unfortunately. So I'll leave it at that, just because this is a coaster stream, so don't want to go too much further into it. Um, and then we have hit that time limit. Charged will be the last question we'll answer, so we'll put
Mm-hmm.
a end
We'll do the
questions
rest of them.
here.
Yes.
Um, all right, so any questions that came in before that will be answered.
See.
Do either of us think Hershend will sell any of the Palace parks? Well, they did actually already. Castle Park and some of the water parks as well that they acquired. All their California properties they sold off. That was actually rumored, if not people actually knew, like after the deal, that apparently that was something in the works. I was very in tune to that, like very early on, and that ended up being true. Um, I think out of the other parks, it's certainly possible just because, you don't want to be too big, especially in their case. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the other parks are generally like pretty good fits for them as far as like the actual like dry parks, like a lot of family
Yeah.
oriented parks that they probably can just make a lot better with like events and infrastructure and quality of life improvements over like giving them like big ride additions. Um, so I think they could do it, but I'm actually gonna say they don't. I'll be optimistic on that. So your
I,
thoughts?
I would I would also agree with that. Of the current properties that they have now, I see them giving them a decent run. They're gonna definitely do their best with it. And another a case you can look at is like the Wild Adventures. It like you don't have to make the park Silver Dollar City or Dollywood for it to be a profitable park. At the end of the day, Hershend is a business, and if they think by adding smaller additions like the events, like the festivals, like the Great Pumpkin Illuminates thing, like whatever, all those things, if they think that's going to be enough to generate the most profit for them, and that any extra money that they pump into the machine wouldn't be beneficial, then they're just gonna leave it at that. So I think they're gonna keep the parks that they have now. I'm not saying they're gonna get a lot of investment though. I don't think all of them will. I think a handpicked few will get a lot of investment, and the rest will probably just coast and just get like a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think in general it's going to be a net positive for most, if not all, of these parks under the
Oh,
new ownership.
absolutely, absolutely.
So um, definitely we'll have to mention that. Um, have have either of us collaborated with parks? And did we reach out to them? If you want to answer this first.
So I'll say this year I had a couple of collaborations lined up. Unfortunately, none of them panned out, which was pretty shocking. So I was invited to quite a few media days, and just because of some travel reasons, I wasn't able to. One of them, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, was Six Flags New England. I was very excited for that. I had some pretty cool content planned, and they just invited me out, and I was super excited to be one of the first people to ride Quantum. They were gonna have film a commercial. I was gonna get to interview some people just for the channel. Pretty awesome stuff. But as we all know, the intimate straddles just miraculously went down. Another
Mm-hmm.
one I was going to collaborate with was Lost Island for their media day of Fire Runner. I think that's what it's called. But I was already planning to go to Cedar Point that day, and I was notified a little bit too late, so I had to pass on that one as well. But next year, going into 2026, I have a few of them pretty much already lined up. Obviously, I haven't purchased airfare, but I have a couple parks for their new additions that I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to make the media openings since I'm already on the list for those.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you said, you had a lot of stuff lined up. It just, didn't really work out with just the different things that occurred. But that makes sense there. I mostly do this channel more so as a hobby, so that sort of thing, like I don't really, I haven't really been invited or like requested anything as far as media events go. The one, which is funny. I mean, there are some parks that do follow me, but like their pages. But I mean, um, some of them I actually am, I don't really understand why. And then there's other, not like in a bad way, but I guess I mean I do obviously post a lot of news stuff on the Instagram, so maybe it's useful. Other ones it's like I visited. And just mentioned had a good time there, and they just went off that. Um, I will mention the one time that sort of happened was a few years ago when I went to Oaks Park. It was kind of unintended, at least at first. I was unsure if they still had their pay-per ride system because everything I saw was that it was admission, and I was really wanting to go mainly for Adrenaline Peak. And so I asked, I just reached out. I was like, hey, is there a pay-per ride system? Um, there wasn't, but they ended up being nice enough to hook me up with complimentary tickets if I covered the park
Wow.
on YouTube and Instagram. So that is, and I will say this was years ago, and I didn't understand because, like I said, I did this as a hobby. I wasn't in my major yet, which we've talked a lot more about. Just like kind of standards of like influencer stuff. I think looking back, I did not do a good enough job like disclosing that was a situation I was in, that I did have the complimentary tickets and whatnot. So that, certainly if something like that were to happen again, I would be much more clear on it, um, because I think that's important. But that's like the one time that happened. Outside of that, unless I'm like missing something, I don't believe there's another collaboration. Even then, that was more so. I guess it
Yeah,
technically counts, but not like in a media event or anything like that. So um, there's that answer.
that's a good story. That's good.
Are there parks in the U.S. that another chain besides Six Flags can buy? I mean,
There's always parks, but yeah,
yeah. Um, I, I mean, if you want like examples, I probably wouldn't really have it because I don't really know at this point, especially if I mean, no, you still see little parks actually getting. There's a lot of movement with there's been movement with like FECs and such.
yeah.
So probably. Oh wait, I'm being so goofy. I just George reminded me. I don't know how I forgot this. I guess the collaboration. I guess I think of it like on site at the park. Yeah, I did forget that. Yeah, I did interview the CEO of Far Hoop Summerland a few years ago.
Oh, super cool.
For my interview series, and then Tyra Mullins from Skylane Attractions, which they outside of the coasters they manufacture, they also designed the layouts of GCI. So it was looking into all those different aspects, and like the Titan track was just starting up, and
Mm,
things of that sort, and Adventureland Long Island as well. I have no idea how I forgot that off the top of my head. It's been years, but yes, those were all done. I think it was like 21, like they
wow.
2021. It was a while ago. So, but yes, I have like I that's actually shameful that I did not remember that as going through this, but yeah, I did have those. Those were Zoom interviews because I have not been to Denmark. I have not been to even the state of New York. So, and then I guess I have been to Skynext before, but that wasn't a content related thing. That was just a like networking professional event, so I would not consider that. But also through that, we got
Oh,
some experiences,
I
some complimentary stuff
yeah.
with parks.
I
So,
guess the yeah, I have one other I guess one other complimentary thing that I got. I when before they changed the rules to IAPA, I got complimentary tickets to cover it as an influencer, to be like media for it, and I had a couple things lined up. I That was another one. I actually didn't end up going to it just
mm.
because full-time college student doing other stuff. But yeah, so now they changed the rules, so it's a little bit harder. I'm gonna have to probably pay this year, which is fine. I just do it for fun. This is just a hobby for me too. I have a full-time job, but that's kind of another one that was, I guess, partnering a little bit.
Yeah, no, I know that I've known a lot of people that either in more recent years, even after some of the changes occurred or prior, have either had those complimentary tickets, but just for like reasons as you mentioned couldn't attend, or have attended and covered it. So that's obviously a cool opportunity to be able to have. When I went to IAPA last year, people did ask if like I was there as not like there like when I was there, but like before people
Yeah.
asked if I was there. I was not. I was there as a student. I was that was not my intention in terms of covering it, and I wasn't on the
Yeah.
didn't do the complimentary tickets. So, um, but no, that is a cool one. That is definitely worth a shout out there. Sorry, but getting back to this question. Um, I mean, looking at the parks, I know that there was a story that came out years ago of Silverwood. Hershen like either reached out, made a phone call, whatever it was. They're like, "Hey, can we can we acquire you?" Basically, and they said no. So I think they're off the table. um, but yeah, like of major parks, I don't
Yeah.
think there's gonna be like stand, especially like independent parks of like the ones that are more notable. I don't see them being acquired by a chain. So, but there's
No,
definitely like little FECs and stuff that could definitely happen.
I was gonna say, I said I think we'll see movement, but it won't always be with the big parks. It will be maybe just attractions too. I remember a while ago when Hershend bought up a good chunk of the dinner shows in
Mm.
Branson and in and in Pigeon Forge. So wherever you go, it's at a Hershend run one. At least
Mm-hmm.
like a good portion of them are. So I think we'll see movement like that. Probably from Hirsch End and maybe SeaWorld eventually, but Six Flags has enough on their plate at the moment. I don't see them
Hmm.
wanting to acquire more. I would say they would probably want to divest and kind of shove stuff to the side rather than get more.
The only thing I'll mention is the EPR parks. I could potentially see those going to a different operator, even though like the contract is 2037. I'm sure there's a way they can like figure some way to get out of it and transfer it
Yeah.
over. So, because I mean they have. I'm pretty sure they prematurely ended those deals when they cut off from Frontier City and Darien Lake initially. So, um, pretty sure that would be those would be probably the parks I'd look at as like okay, I could definitely see some change happening with those. Um, let's see, and then the final question: buy or sell Magic Mountain delays their 2026 coaster. It's like really weird because I
Hope
mean
not.
theoretically there has not been much movement, and my understanding is there's been permitting issues, which is not ideal. Um, but the weird thing with Magic Mountain is they are one of those parks that they can, if they want to, open this later in the year. They are not
Mhm.
beholden to like the summer opening that like a lot of other parks are since it runs year round. And they have
Exactly.
open parks or not parks, sorry, coasters like in that kind of winter time. West Coast Racers. I know it officially opened in 2020, but they did
Yeah, yeah.
previews in December. So a December opening, if need be, is not out of the realm of possibility. And although I guess the issue, I mean, I was trying to think of. I know the World Cup's going over there, and it would be late for that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make a difference between the Olympics because the Olympics is in 28. If that's of much, if they care about that, um, I will still sell it just because there's a decent I think there's still a shot that it could have like a late opening, but yeah, I'm not exactly super enthused with the lack of progress that there's been over the last several
Yeah.
months. So I will still sell it though. What about you?
I would say that I wouldn't sell it just yet. I mean, I wouldn't buy it just yet. I would want to wait a couple more months. Like if we see no movement within like 2 months, then it's like it's kind of doomed. Um, I don't know if them being honest about the Great Adventure attraction, if them just announcing it sets a precedent. Probably not, but that's something to think about, that maybe they'll be transparent and just tell us. That would be great. But I would say at this point, they're still gonna try, I think. It until they see that they realistically cannot, and then they're gonna reevaluate, and progress might just halt for a bit. But I think that's maybe that already happened. Maybe that's what's going on. But I think right now they're gonna still attempt to do it. So I'm going to I think sell that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think there's a little too much opportunity for it to end up opening in 2026 for me to fully sell it. I mean, if this were like say like I guess like a Six Flags New England or a park that does have a that does not is not like fully year round, then yeah, I would buy it. But because this is Magic Mountain, it is that circumstance. I will sell it. So
Yes.
there we have it. That is all the questions that came in as before the cutoff. So uh, obviously, Josh, great to have you on here. Uh, obviously, you've been watching all these years and just being another pretty decent sized coaster YouTuber. It's great to have you on. Any last thoughts you have before we head out?
Oh, this has absolutely been my pleasure. This is awesome to do it. Just getting to talk about coasters is great. Um, not really. This has been fantastic and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And can't wait to see some other ones and who you have on next.
For sure. And for those of you watching either live or afterwards, of course, a huge shout out there. Think I'll just give a little update as far as streams in the next few months. I am at this point in my final semester at Fresno State, so there will still be streams, here and there. Probably not too much guest ones, just because uh, at least as of right now, because I just don't have anything like concretely lined up like timeline wise, and it may prove to be difficult. There will be more streams before the end of the year, but the scheduling could be a little sporadic, so we'll mention that. But I do look forward to doing obviously the next few streams here when they happen. So with all of that being said, thanks to you all for watching, and I will see you all next time here on Coaster Hour. See you all.